staying with us on the program. Now, let's get a conversation and move it forward. You heard what Chief Dele Mambodu said about the situation in the ADC, and it was categorical about defeating Bola Tinubu if that is the agenda of the opposition, because he's the man to beat. He's got the ticket and he's probably going to get a benefit of chance of refusal. I'm not looking forward to anybody getting the ticket away from Bola Tinubu in the APC. So, yeah, he's a man everyone will be mentioning his name over and over again. But beyond Atiku Abubakar, Amechi, don't forget, there is an Ayatollah, right? And I keep asking the question. I saw a video online where the man says, if we are to move forward, he's got a 40-year track record in the private sector. He's founded, built businesses, and he's done well for himself. Is Ayatollah the alternative and the kind of candidate that Nigeria needs? Well, it might not be as popular as Atiku Abubakar and Amechi is of this world, but is he the gentle, calm candidate that the ADC need to field to defeat Bola Tinubu? Chief Segun Sowunmi is live on the program for us to give us some perspectives about what is emerging in the ADC. Thanks so much, Mr. Sowunmi, for joining us tonight.
Joe, it's nice to be here. How are you?
I'm all right. All right.
Let's go.
The race is getting heated up. It does look like things are pretty much settled in your state, Ogun. We know Adeola has gotten the nod in the APC, and he's gotten a way ahead. You know, in the scheme of things in Ogun State, and I know that you also have your eyes.
I'm the deal clincher in Ogun.
Really?
If I decide that I'm going to go through, I have a ticket already, but I'll tell you the party later. If I decide I'm going to go through, it will be a very terrible 3-horse race: Ogun Central, Ogun East, and Ogun West. We'll see how that pans out. If I look at the situation and say, okay, I don't want to proceed because of the rather sad mien I have, looking at the way the democratic space has become in the country, whoever I backs will win. But that's not the big conversation.
So, Yayi is Yewa, right?
Yayi is Yewa, Adebutu is Jebu, actually Iperu, and Amabeokuta Central. So we'll see how that goes. But
so you're Egba?
Oh, everybody knows that. I'm as Egba can.
A cocky one at that.
At that. Very, very proud one.
So Yewa versus Ijebu versus Egba.
Yeah, so the people who would decide now is Egba. And the simple reason is that we're persuaded by the 50-year argument of the Yewa people, but it's not a settled matter. We're not definitely persuaded that an Iperu man who has been there for 8 years will now be handing power to an Iperu man. That's like a pipe dream. But even at that, there are other fundamental issues in the body politics of Ogun, and Ogun is particularly different.
Ogun is going to be very interesting this time around, more than ever.
Ogun is very different.
I saw what happened between Benga Daniel, your former principal,
not just that. What about
and
what about where are you going to put Ibukun Lamoso? Where are you going to put Dimeji? Where are you going to put the farmers who got Dimeji Bankole? And bloody hell, where are you going to put me? When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But bottom line is, congratulations, my dear friend Solomon Adeola Yayi. You've gotten the ticket. I've called round a lot of the big stakeholders in Ogun West because I know they have been Director General many times over there. They are quite happy and they are just saying, oh, you guys in Egba, please, please, please. We've been waiting for 50 years. Can you just help us over the line? So it's a very strong argument. But you know, the Egbas, we are people that when we are upset, we keep quiet. When we're talking, we're not upset. We have a saying in Egba land that the Egbas don't protest by talking. We protest with our leg. When we get to, but this is not an interesting. Don't let's go to that because I'm uninterested.
Yeah. So the thing is that if Solomon Adeola Yayi is watching and listening tonight,
I don't know about that.
He might like to know there are a lot of battle ahead. He needs to get good lawyers.
Ogun is different. Ogun State has never gone to the highest bidder. In 1999, Oshoba was not the wealthiest. He lost, but Derupako was wealthier than Oshoba won. In 2003, Daniel was not the wealthiest. Oshoba was the wealthiest. Oshoba lost. Daniel won. In 2011, Amusun was not the wealthiest. The kind of resources we put behind Boyega Isaka and Olurin, they lost. Amusun won. In 2015, Dakpo couldn't have been the wealthiest. because the governor Adamusun was running a different show. He lost at that point. Ogun can be
very interesting. And that's why I said Delayayi should get good lawyers. He should brace up. The storm is coming. I'm hearing a lot, but we'll see other players. Let me move away from that.
Okay. Good luck, Ogun. Team Ogun. See you soon. Team Egba, we'll see. We'll talk soon.
And you heard the argument from Chief Dele Momodu about how 2027 can pan out and how things can go in 2027. He is of the opinion that to defeat in today's Nigeria, in our in the politics of Nigeria, if you want to take out Bola Tinubu and the APC politically speaking, you've got to have an Atiku Abubakar. And there are those who say, maybe not. There is an Ayatollah, a strong Kano man.
Let me help you. You know, I listened to him, and I think that he has fallen into the error that most of them always fall into. And that's why it always appears as if Segun is like some kind of rebel. I'm not a rebel. I'm just interested in these things, and I study them a lot. Every argument Dele Momodu has put on the table has been a linear mathematics argument. Basically, imagining that the numbers belong to one individual and that the only thing that carries numbers is tribe. Everybody who knows anything about election planning and election estimations will tell you that there's still another leg you have to introduce to it, which is the science of the mood of the nation. Are you listening, Shehu?
I'm listening to you.
In the business of the science of the mood of the nation, first thing you will first of all see is that what is the percentage of Nigerians that believe that the power should be in the south? You have to factor that in. Then you will go to the north and unbundle it. Yes, but Tinubu may be the president of Nigeria and he may be a Yoruba man. Does that mean that they don't have governors in the north who want to go back? They don't have ministers. They don't have commissioners. They don't have chairmen of local governments. They don't have all of that. So, like, basically, Bola Tinubu is just sitting there in the villa and there's nobody else in the north. So you will have to, first of all, try and go deeper to look at what are his numbers. Then you do the mood assessment. You go into the north today, even in their private party, they are singing Omologo and dancing heartily to it. Look, that which Dele is saying is not correct and is punching above his weight in terms of this kinds of analysis. It takes time to learn it. I will say that. The second thing is that I didn't originally see the Amici interview until my attention was called to read that maybe like he was rude or he did say something nice about Atiku. And, you know, that's my former house. So a lot of things would come to me. So I then went to look at the interview. Rotimi, you're a very brilliant man. Rotimi is very brilliant. Under a different circumstance, his scaling up as to his capability to be president is very high. You know why? Rotimi kept linking it to nationalism. He kept linking it to being the president of all Nigeria. He kept speaking about what he needs to do in the north. He kept speaking about what he needs to do even for the southeast. He kept saying, if you cannot give them a space, you have to let them go. Rotimi that guy is not as, no wonder he was able to come second behind Bola Tinubu. So if Dele is assuming that a primary that has not been done, Rotimi will lose, he's joking. The last time Rotimi was anywhere, he was actually a minister of Southeastern extraction, but who did a lot of things in the north, the road, and he worked with a lot of northern boys who are within his own age group. Where do they know their science? So, but that's that. For Atiku, I think that Atiku can win. Do not be deceived.
The primary or the election?
The primaries is even a lot easier for him than the election, but he can win that election.
He knows how to win primaries.
No. I heard when they said Atiku doesn't know how to win an election, but they're not doing the analysis right. There are critical things generally taking place in the body politics of today that if you give up on Atiku, you must be a big fool. So if anybody is getting angry and irritating Atiku, stop irritating him, he may be president. But you see, you will be sad for our country if you look at the way the democratic space is and you see that it's becoming difficult for you to see brilliance come forward because of the kinds of stupid arguments you hear when people just dash people all of the numbers in their territory. If Peter Obi can take numbers from Lagos territory, which is Bola Tinubu's territory, what makes you think that numbers in territory belongs to only the people that are traditionally from that territory? 2023 should have shown us that those type of simplistic argument is gone. If you get to Kano, you actually expect the Bola Tinubu not to get any numbers from Kano. Using Kano as an example, he has the governor there, Abba Gida. He has Ganduje there. I'm coming. He has Ganduje there. Of recent, he now has Shekarau. And of course, you know he has the Deputy Senate President. Yeah. The optics there does not suggest that a mob, if you like, for want of a better word, a better word is the mass. Anybody can say he owns the mass. The mass operates on what you call temporary loyalty purchase. The franchise of that word belongs to one of my friends, Tux Mudupe, you own that word. The temporary loyalty purchase will make you understand that everybody is going to curate some of their own, mass of people. And it may not be as simple as that. As that. You have also they have not also calculated what exactly are the Nigerians yearning for. At this particular time, Nigerians are tired of all the recycled elements. And therein, you begin to look at an Ayatollah. I say, this man, let's go and look at his CV. You dig into it, you find out that he has what you call a transformational leadership that is proven in terms of turnaround of even industries that were moribund. 145 of them at the last count is there in the CV, written in black and white. He has significant experience and knowledge and training in developmental economics, in banking, in corporate governance. He was former chairman of Nigerian NESC group, member of Harvard, member of Oxford. So the CV is pleasing. And if you look at the country today, one of the things that made Peter get those numbers he got the last time was because Nigerians are just looking for different. They would not have stayed with Peter if he resembled the status quo. So sometimes we need to flip with the not so status quo. But hey, let them even cross the hurdle of their primaries, however they want to do it, and let's see what they will throw for.
In 2022, right?
Yes.
Mr. Ayatollah stepped down, and his statement said that having looked at the murky and how they've balkanized the primary process by monetizing it, he's not going to get himself involved.
Yeah, but luckily they don't have to monetize this.
This time around, right? And he said he was withdrawing at the time. And so that those who will say,
will he withdraw?
Will he withdraw this time around? Will he stick it out this time around?
I think that those are questions that he can answer. We're doing this analysis based on what
we can see.
What we can see that they're throwing up. He's throwing up competence. He's throwing up educational capability. He's throwing up experience. What are the others throwing up?
If Ayatollah gets the ticket of the ADC, is he the kind of person that can defeat Bola Tinubu?
Well, the thing is that if Ayatollah gets the ticket, he will have a bit of a struggle with name recognition, but luckily they have about 8 months. And he's not totally unknown in the north. Do you get? He's not unknown. All of these structures he has had, the bankers, the business people. I went to Dangote Refinery a couple of weeks ago. And as I was going through the experience of that refinery and seeing how gargantuan it was, I felt like literally just saying, can we not just give the country to Dangote? And it was not because of Dangote. It was because we are beginning to see that private sector experience plays a critical role in delivering projects. The things that the Nigerian people want are just deliverables. Nobody wants the deliverables.
The ordinary.
You want power, you want light. So when you now, from that backdrop, when you see the CV of someone like Ayatollah, you say, how did we even become a nation? This is where my sadness is. How did we become a nation that we don't even pay attention to the skills of those who are
quality,
the skills
character,
of those who are
competence,
the skills of those that were even recruiting for the top job, and then that talk that Bola is going to lose. I've not come here to help him win or not help him, but I can tell you for free, it's almost as if by the time we get to 2 o'clock that day, he would have won. And he may have won by a very massive vote. And one of the things you alluded to, which they are not paying attention to, is that they are assuming that all the territorial commanders of votes, like governors, like local government, they are assuming that on the day of the election, they will just go and sleep. And then you ask that, how does this even sound? How is this logical? The president is hemming himself with the territorial commanders. The president is ensuring that money goes to local government, money goes to state. People ask him, where's the wealth? Where's the wealth? It's with your governors, it's with your local government chairman. We have created a skewed conversation around politics in this country, which is that the man that is sitting at the top is the one that is going to go to Sambisa to go. These things don't work like that. So I'm more scared now that it's almost as if the opposition has thrown it away. But the energy to pull us over the line, if opposition wants to do it, they have to understand that it's not linear numbers alone. It was linear numbers that made us do TAN in 2015 when Jonathan was there. The man is dead now, blessed memory. They were just doing TAN, and I was going berserk. These things don't yield to just linear number. Nobody listened. And it turned out that it actually listened to the science of numbers. So there is a science that drives how these things move. It's not just say, oh, there are 10 million people in Kano. The whole of 10 million people in Kano belong to one man. Oh, there are 5 million people in Lagos. The whole of 5 million people belong to one. If you want me to run you through the state by state, you'll be shocked of how difficult it is for some of them who are even boasting to how would they win. Look at the South-South, for instance. You have an unusual situation where you have the entire structure of the South-South, the entire 6, typically which would be PDP or opposition, they are all in the ruling party. Look at the Southeast. Almost all the leaders there, bar none, maybe EOT that has not even publicly come to say is there. Almost all of them are saying this is where they are. And some of them are doing well. Look at the Southwest. Of course, the Southwest are very Republican. They will just be all over the place. But even at that, people are campaigning, and even no matter the problems they're having in their own situation, all of them are saying, we are for Bola Tinubu, we are for Bola Tinubu. But it's not as easy as that.
If you do the math, statistically, the voting population is about 60% more than the party membership voting.
Of course, exactly.
So it then tells you something that non-partisan voting public are more in the numbers, and those might be swayed not by any political affiliation or leaning, but so by performance and what they see.
Where you begin to see. That's where you begin to see people like Ayatollah look attractive.
Yeah.
If only they rally.
Now the idea now is that those who think that Bola Tinubu may have won based on structure and the kind of people and the state that he has won, but what about performance and the kind of shocker and surprises that some people, the permutations are saying that in several states there will be surprises. There are some of these governors that have gone automatic ticket that may not return because voters will judge by what they see, the performance. Is their lives better? Are they more secure? Is their living wage achieved and all of that?
I hear you. I think if there's anything they are guilty of, and it's not my duty to help them solve it, they are guilty of not being able to communicate their things in simple ways. But be assured, I have done the count. You have done the physical count. Okay, let's look at, for instance, let's look at Katsina. You look at where Masari, the one senior, Masari Junior, where is he? Where is Shema? Do you understand? Where is Lado Haske? No matter if it's in PDP, it's going to. Where you will count. You will go to Kano. Okay, where is Aliko? Where is Bao? You don't understand? Where is this? Where is that? You will go to you will count. You have to do the count. And when you do this count, you begin to say, okay, are the local government chairmen that are now enjoying better resources allocation to them, are they going to just wake up in their local government and just sleep so that who is going to even give you the structure? Yeah. You can't even organize yourself in the opposition when they wanted to beat PDP in 2015. Fact of the matter is that Buhari brought some governors. Bola Tinubu brought some AD governors. They brought some ACN, what they call it, they brought some CPC. On top of that, they cracked about 5 of the PDP governors joined. Have you seen any governor going to go and say it's with them?
All right.
When you say when they now say it's so simple,
yeah.
they make you kind of like pity them because it.
So 2027 will pose some surprise, but the way the opposition is behaving, it does look like they are giving Bola Tinubu.
No, I'm beginning to think that 2027 is already a done deal. People will just have to maybe struggle for other positions because the presidency is not as simple as that.
When I watched Ayatollah's video on Twitter earlier today, I felt maybe, just maybe, if our voting pattern are not just linear, and people could look in the...
It depends on him.
And there are so many candidates out there, aspirants, who've got a very strong track record from the private sector. But I wish them the very best.
Oh, yes, Chief I wish them the very best. Please remember, Ogun, to Central will decide where this thing is going to go.
It's going to be interesting. But Mr. Solomon Yayi, my intelligence I'm hearing as a journalist, you've got to brace up.
It's not yet to Uru.
Legally speaking, he's got to brace up.
It's not yet to Uru.
Things are going to be.
It's not yet to Uru.
Difficult days ahead.
Yeah. Yes, sure.
Chief Sowunmi, thank you so much indeed.